G'day, cunts! Welcome to episode number 27, I will say. I feel like that's a pretty good number. It's not a meme. I should really be more prepared for this than I really should be and check beforehand, but that's just not the kind of person I am, and that's not this kind of podcast. If you want quality, fucking, I don't know, go listen to Joe Rogan or some shit. Actually, has a production budget. But anyway, welcome to the Greencast, a podcast by me, Mr. Greentext, where I record me rambling to myself in my bedroom for around an hour-ish. I'll probably be a little bit shorter today, only because I realized that I need to record this now because I want to have a chance for the rest of the day, if it's going to go up on the normal scheduled time. Because I got other shit to do today, and plans and places I gotta be and people I gotta meet and whatnot. But, yeah, so, what have I got on my little list? Oh, yeah, so, it's probably, I think it started to make a bit of international, news at this point, but, if you don't already know, there's this weird, fucked, phenomenon? I don't know if I'd call it that. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, but basically, This is fucked thing happening with strawberries, where someone actually has been putting needles inside strawberries, and thankfully no one's actually gotten hurt actually eating them, because they take a bite and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And they're like, "Oh, it's a fucking needle. What the shit?" And so there's this actual like a fucking crisis going on at the moment with like people are starting to put needles in other fruits. But first, the first case was with strawberries, and that happened a couple of weeks ago, which is actually hilarious, but also scary at the same time, because the first case was someone just posted on Facebook, and then they posted to Coles saying, I think, was it Coles? It might have been Woolworths, I can't remember. It might have been Coles. But yeah, basically, I went to fucking high school with the guy who actually posted the original like warning, and he lives like a suburb away from me. Which is kind of terrifying, because then, like, the vicinity of, like, needles and strawberries is pretty fucking close to me, so... Yeah, it's this weird epidemic of no one's fucking buying strawberries at the moment, and everyone's afraid to buy strawberries. So much so, like, obviously, like, immediately when this happened, the supermarkets all, like, were told that they should throw out all of their strawberries. And, yeah, just all of these strawberries that have been, like, harvested are just, like, tossed in the garbage, basically. And they're just, like, refusing to, like, take them from some of the farmers as well. And, I live near, like, a pretty big fucking strawberry farm, actually the biggest one in, Queensland. And, like, exports to them all. And, basically, they've just got mounds of these just strawberries that they just have to pick. Because if they don't pick them off the little bush, then, I don't know, it's apparently not good for it, because then they rot away and stuff. So they just have to constantly harvest them. And I've just got mounds of strawberries that they just can't fucking do anything with. And so that was, like, the original, like, thing that set everything off. But a couple days ago, there was someone who actually put a needle in a pear. That was last week, I think. And then there was also one that I saw a couple of days ago where someone in New South Wales put a needle inside an apple. And the apple was part of, like, I don't know if people in America have this, but they have, like, here in Australia, people like Woolworths, they have, like, a little plastic tub that they put, like, a pack of 6 apples in, and then they wrap that in plastic. Apparently it was in one of those, like, packets. But as I just googled it, like I usually do with these sorts of stories, apparently, an Adelaide man was charged over false report for strawberry contamination. So this is the first time I'm actually reading this, and I actually just googled it, and this was just posted today. It says, South Australian police have charged a man with making a false report after alleging that his daughter had bitten into a strawberry that contained a needle. Was charged making the false report. His statement alleged that a week earlier his daughter had bitten into a strawberry. Yeah, I just read that. It was alleged strawberries had been purchased from Metropolitan Supermarket. He's appeared in court. What a fuckhead. But yeah, it's become like a bit of a fucking meme at this point too. All the depressed teens, because you know, the hot meme is teens that want to fucking kill themselves. The hot meme is just like, boy, assignments are going really well. I think I'm gonna go eat a punnet of strawberries. But yeah, the poor fucking farmers in all of this, they're just fucked out of, like, literally all of their, like, actual profit and all of their, like, product, because they're just fucking refusing to take it. And one of my best friends was just like, oh yeah, you should probably, like, you know, go to the strawberry farms, because, like, they obviously can't sell it. And so he said he bought 5 trays of strawberries for $10. And they're prime strawberries. They're not like, you know, sometimes in, like, markets, they sell, like, strawberries with strawberry jam. And they're, like, the more munted, sort of bruised ones that they obviously can't really, like, sell in the properly ones. In, like, the proper punnets and stuff. So, but they're good for strawberry jam. But yeah, these are, like, good ones, because they just refuse to take them. Because one can't put a fucking goddamn needle in it. And it's just... It's also just like, how fucked in the head do you have to be to fucking do that sort of shit? But even then, it's like, was it just like a hoax? Did it actually happen? Fucking hell, dude. I'm also like half reading some of these stuff so I can get a bit more information too. Strawberry sales have bounced back after a week. The following dumped strawberries. Previous disastrous week. Yeah, it says here. At the beginning of the week, wholesalers were selling strawberries $3 a box, so would normally get $16 a box. Yeah, so they just had to get rid of them. They're like, oh yeah, we're fucked. Yeah, they were cancelling orders from growers around the country who were forced to just dump their produce. Sold out of strawberries. Yeah, they like bounced back pretty fucking hard. Let's see. Wholesale market for generations. But yeah, even with this sort of shit too, like, I'm just having a look at another article here. What the fuck? What are the other, like, articles that I'm looking at here as well? The headline is, Drug Trafficker Owns an Operation at the Center of Strawberry Scandal. What the fuck? Fruit growing and packing business at the center of the strawberry contamination scandal is owned by a convicted drug trafficker, named in a confidential report on organized crime. What the fuck? Oh shit. He was not at the family property and farmland on the outskirts of Mildura. Da-da-da-da. Holy fuck, dude. This might go a bit deeper than I thought. Jesus Christ. Yo, fucking... move over, Flat Earth. You better step out of the way. What's it called? Chemtrails. This is an actual fucking conspiracy and like a hole that you could go down. Except it's fucking goddamn real. It's... well, as long as it's not hoaxed, which there's already been a case of. But yeah, there was even another one that I was looking, as I was scrolling through there before. It was saying that, like, because of this happening, Australia's reputation is now, like, pretty fucked with exporting produce, like, across the world. Because they're just going to see all these headlines and just be like, oh, aren't you the country that had needles? Literal sewing needles in some of your produce? Nah, we're just not going to take it. And then, you know, same thing happens. They just got to fucking dump it because they don't have anything to do with it. I don't get it, man. People are fucked. That's all I've got to really fucking say is like, oh, they're so fucked. Speaking of fucked, oh, what a segue, but not in the sense that you're hoping for. Nah, I'm still a fucking virgin fag. Man, I went on fucking a hike this morning. I don't know, like a nature hike. And then immediately after, I went on a fucking mountain climb again. And man, I'm so fucked. Because, where I live, there's, like, a bunch of mountains near me. And there's a bunch of, like, hiking and mountain climbing trails that you can take. And I want to go up on all of them. But there's one that's like really dangerous because a lot of people have died, but also they've also died because they're trying to scale some of the rock faces where you're not really supposed to go, and then they just fall off and fucking die, and not sticking to the actual trail. And so my friends that I usually go like on these sorts of stuff with, they didn't want to go to it because they're like, oh, people have died there, I don't want to go. But I convinced them because there was actually a track that goes around the mountain, and that was pretty pleasant. It was actually, it was pretty like flat ground and whatnot. Couple like rocks here and there, just walking through like the foresty area. Felt pretty cool. But yeah, it was like 3.2 kilometers. Don't know how long that is in miles. I don't know if you're still listening, that one guy that converts all the stuff, but there's one to do for you this week. Convert 3.2 kilometers into the comments, and I'll fucking pin you. Yeah, so it was like 3.2k, just basically around the mountain, and quite pleasant. And then we finished it, and then my friends were like, I'm feeling alright, want to go up the mountain we did last week? And I'm like, oh, I guess. And so yeah, fucking, dude, my goddamn legs are fucking aching. Like, I wouldn't say I'm unfit. Well, I don't know. I'm like the weird fucking in-between, because like, for about 3.5 years at this point, going to gym like every night, my body is used to short bursts of energy. I'm definitely not an endurance fitness person. I don't know what to really fucking call it. Yeah, so my body's used to just like really high weight sort of stuff and then immediately recovering, rather than like doing a shit ton of actual movement and exercise for a longer period of time. My body's like, what the fuck are you doing? You better stop. And yeah, my goddamn, I had to like take breaks up the fucking mountain, cause I'm like, dude, I'm gonna fucking cramp if I don't have a break, literally right now. But man, the fucking the mountain, it was the same mountain I went up last week. But it's just got the fucking most amazing 360 view. I think I talked about it again. But yeah, I'm gonna try and make that like at least a weekly, if not semi-weekly thing of just like going on hikes every weekend, just so I can, build up that endurance a little bit more. Because I'm pretty happy with my like strength levels that I've got at the moment, and I'm still improving like steadily every now and then. I don't know. I don't really want to brag, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty fucking strong at this point. I'm stronger than like most people. Like, and it's quite funny especially when you're like around like others that don't really go to gym, and then you start to realize that, all the skinny cunts that like, oh cool, I could bench you quite fucking easily. Where it's just like, oh, you're my starting weight when I squat. Just jump on my shoulders and I'll fucking, you'll be my workout. Come on. And it's just like, my fucking goddamn bicep is as big as their, like, thighs. It's quite funny, also at the same time. But yeah, I don't know. I also just can't live without, like, my strength at this point. Because it's just like, I don't know. I don't know where I was going I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest. Other than just like, it's really handy to be strong, because you can move things around that you could not previously before by yourself. Like, I remember there was a time when my parents like had a bar fridge, and they needed to take it out of the car, and they're just like, oh, could you help us take it out? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I just fucking pull it out and just lug it like on my shoulder, basically, and then just pull it in the garage and like, oh, I meant help as in, like, you take one end and I take the other. I'm like, nah, it's fine. And yeah, I fucking lugged it, like, pretty easily, like a fucking strongman. But that's definitely what I'm sort of, like, going for, too. It's like, I don't really want to be, like, one of those, like, fitness cunts that, like, it goes for runs, like, every day. As, like, probably good as that would be. Because, like, I'm one of those unfortunate cunts that gets, fucking thigh rubs, and it's just like, it's the bane of my fucking existence. I can't walk more than, like, maybe 7 or 8 kilometers without starting to get like chafe, and then it like actually gets painful. And I've done it to like the point where it's just like I had no choice, where I just had to walk. I think it was like on like one of the big sets where I just had no choice and had to walk back and forth with this like couple hundred meters, like every like a lot. I was gonna say like this many times an hour, but I can't really remember. But a lot, and it got to the point where I was bleeding, where I was chafing that much, and it's like I mean, sure, I've still got like fat on me, but it's also good to have it at the same time, because then that's mass that you can help convert into muscle and turn it into muscle mass. Because like I definitely used to be a lot more of a chubster back in the day, especially like early high school and stuff. You could see the fat in my face, but because I've just been going to the gym for like 3.5 years, like doing weights and whatever the fuck, my body's like, oh yeah, we actually, to do this, we need to fucking whack on some more muscle. And so it's just been converting it. And like, yeah, I haven't really lost any weight for like 3 years, apart from that time when I got sick and whatnot, because it's just been converting it into fat. And I mean, sure, I don't have like a healthy diet, I'd say, but it's like I'm not eating shit 24/7 either. Like my usual like meals of the day will consist of breakfast, if I remember, Wheat Bix biscuits. Lunch is usually these like Hawaiian roll things. They're like these bread rolls, and they have like tomato paste, some sort of like meat like ham, pineapple, and cheese. That's lunch. Snacks, either usually nuts, or I've been really fucking getting into jerky as well. And then dinner is some sort of meat, usually. I've been trying to eat as much meat as I can, just so I can get all that fucking protein. And then I've been also listening to all like the podcasts, like I think I've talked about as well. Looking into the carnivore diet. But honestly, I don't know if I could really get into that sort of shit. I don't know if that'll be a thing that I'll get into, go into further, because you can do your own research on it. Because I don't know if I want to give up everything else for just meat. As much as I do love meat, I don't know if I could commit that hard to a thing. So I've also been recently having like a bit of a problem with like storage space. Because like Greencast videos, they don't take up that much space, but I have fucking 400 videos at this fucking point. So I do have like a bit of space that I need. But more so than that, like when I'm editing films and whatnot, that's what takes up all the hard drive space. And like at the moment in my computer, I've got an SSD that I run my system off. I've got a 2TB drive. My old hard drive that I used to run it off, I've got the SSD, I got a 2TB drive, I got a 1TB drive, and then I've also got like 2 external ones, like one of those like powered ones. I've got a 3TB drive and a 4TB drive. The 4TB drive was reserved for like storing projects on it, and also past projects, because like a lot of the time people might come back to me and be like, hey, can you actually do a render of this specific codec for this film festival? And it's like, I just have to keep it on hand. So that, I always fucking fill that up. And then the other one was just like general storage for like video games and like, movies and TV shows, whatever the fuck else on it too. And that was going fine. But yeah, it got to the point where I just need more storage space. And I don't have any other power cords available on my power supply to actually plug in more hard drives. As much as I could fit more hard drives in the computer, just didn't want to fuck around with it. So I did a bit of research, and then I found out about hard drive enclosure little media servers. And so I bought myself one of those. I got the Icy box, whatever the fucking latest version of that is, not sure of what the actual model. But basically it's a thing where it has 4 hard drive slots, and then it's AC powered, and then it has either SATA or USB 3.0 high speed that plugs directly into your computer or motherboard, depending on which one, obviously. And then yeah, you just slot the hard drives in, and then you could even install like handles in your hard drives, so you can just like easily like remove and put them in. So I got that in a 6 terabyte hard drive, so I can actually, do that, and even have like an archive and all of my stuff, so I can like long-term storage or put stuff in there, and it's great. And I've still got 3 more fucking hard drive spaces that I could whack stuff in. And it's easy. You just literally slot it in. You don't have to fuck around with any power cables or anything. It's fucking great. So, yeah, that's that. With also heaps of room to expand. And it's been fucking great. I've been trying to talk to people about, their opinion on RAID and NAS servers. But because I can only really afford the one hard drive at the moment, it's not really worth it for me, and I can't really do it. Because basically, if you don't know, RAID is a type of storage system that you can use for hard drives. And basically the way it works is that it combines multiple hard drives to appear as one singular unit on your computer. So if you have, for example, 4 5 terabyte hard drives, depending on what, there's also different types of RAID. They go from 0 to 10. You have a RAID 0, for example. You can set it so the 4 5 terabyte hard drives appear as one 20 terabyte unit in your computer. And then it actually, when you store files, it just spans them across all of the hard drives compared to the one. But the one downside to that is because that your files are then spread, because it appears as one singular unit, if one hard drive shits the bed, that means your data's gone. So it's also good at the same time to have just the singular hard drives, so you can, differentiate between if something shits the bed, you know exactly what data's on there. And if you have to do any data recovery, then it's, you can assess it and see if you can actually do it yourself, or it's that desperate where you actually need to go to a data recovery specialist or anything like that. But yeah, because this fucking film that I'm editing at the moment, with all of the footage, some of the early assets, and all of the proxies of the footage, it is just like a bee's dick under a terabyte. And it's I don't have that hard drive space readily available on my computer. I can just dump a terabyte. So it's good. So I can I've got it on one of my other external hard drives. Just a USB powered one. And it's on that, and then it's also on what I'm dubbing the Icebox as my little server thing. As a backup of everything. And it's great. Best money I ever spent. I wouldn't say ever spent, but money well spent. I will say that. One of the other things that I want to talk about quickly as well is that it literally just came up as I was about to record the podcast. I saw a news story about it. Apparently, Telltale Studios is shutting down. And I'm like, oh, fuck. But apparently, with their shutting down, they're firing 25 employees and keeping some on hand so they can finish the final season of The Walking Dead. And then I'm like, oh, cool. So that means Batman Season 3 is cancelled? That means the Stranger Things Telltale series is cancelled? That means the long fucking awaited Wolf Among Us Season 2 is cancelled? That means Game of Thrones Season 2 is cancelled? And I think another game as well that I was waiting for. I was actually pretty excited. But yeah, all these other fucking games, they're just cancelled. And it's it's sad, but it's it's your own fucking fault at the same time. You can't fucking have 6 or 7 different IPs of games that you can work on at the same fucking time and expect to be profitable for a singular studio, for fuck's sake. I mean, your first fucking game was a poker game, for fuck's sake. What did you expect? Did you think you're gonna make the return that fucking quick? I mean, I can guarantee majority of people fucking wait until, all of the episodes release of a game. That's what I'm doing for The Walking Dead. And I can guarantee you, once all the episodes release, it'll go on sale on Steam, and I can get it for cheaper anyway. Or even, any Telltale game. Whenever there's a Steam sale, I can always get it for, $5. And it's you're not making that much bank to pay off all these fucking goddamn IPs and licensing. Especially for something like Guardians of the Galaxy. Or even Batman, for fuck's sake. It's like, what do you expect, dum-dum? But man, fucking Wolf Among Us was great. And they literally announced the season last year. Or 2 years ago, I think. Let me just do a quick Google on that. Season 2 announcement trailer. July 20, 2007. Oh yeah, so it was last year. Little over a year. And then yeah, it's just gone, man. Never see fucking season 2 of that fucking thing. After asking for so long. Man. It's a shame. Because, I mean, I really fucking enjoyed a lot of Telltale stuff. Like, sure, they were more so, like, cinematic experiences than actual, like, video games. Sure, the choices weren't actually that drastic in changing the story, but there were still good stories at the end of the day. So, what are you gonna do? That's kind of their fault, and their fuck up. There's nothing I can fucking do about it. Alright, well, let's get into the most autistic part of this podcast, and that is, of course, if you don't already know, the part of the podcast where I answer questions from you cunts. So if you have any questions, life advice, queries, or any of that sort of shit, you can either email me at mrgreentext@gmail.com. Fancy graphic that I actually fixed this time. Or you can comment on the community tab post that'll be up on my channel sometime next weekish. Or inevitably, whenever I fucking forget, and it'll go up the day before I record it, like it does every time. Alright, so let's fucking load it up and see what we got. 58 comments. Ooh, we got a fucking good number this week. Oldest first. Let's see. Is that oldest first? Yeah, there we go. Ones are not memes or about other shit. Gormotti Driver asks, my school is full of normies. What do I do? So there's a pretty easy way to unnormify people, or specifically other school kids. You show them my YouTube channel. That's a pretty good fucking way. Although some would argue that my channel is extremely normie, bringing the sort of closed gate community. I don't know if I'd fucking say that. Of 4chan to other people. But yeah, if you want to unnotify people, you show them my channel. Toasty Boy asks, or just says, my balls have been itchy for 3 days straight. Send help. A good way to unitchify your balls, baby powder. Yeah. I think. Cat with a Knife asks, how long is yours? 12 inches fully erect, very relaxed. Redimus the Shitpost Machine asks, is James a homosexual? I mean, doesn't he have a girlfriend and has had a girlfriend for a while? But I mean, could be bi. I don't really give a fuck, but for the moment, I'd say probably no, not specifically a homosexual. Jeremiah Escobar says, how long till the ancient Aztec gods arrive? What's the year? 2018? About 5 years, late. End It All asks, when do you plan on doing another sketch like the Bob Ross one? It was really fun to watch. Yeah, those sketches, they obviously take a lot longer to make, and they're definitely, you know, I enjoy doing them more than the actual green text videos. But it's more of a just like, if I come up with an idea that's worthy of, like, doing it, sure, I'll do it. I don't really have any other ideas, particularly at the moment, of, like, other sort of sketches like that, but there'll definitely be more in the future, for sure. Link N asks, how many pairs of socks do you have compared to how many socks you have in general? What? How many pairs of socks? That's weirdly worded. Missing sock stories? What are your favorite socks? What socks should be burnt to hell immediately when seen? Etc. So I don't know. I don't know if I consider myself a sock guy, but also, like, I only wear enclosed shoes, so I wear socks a lot of the time. But it's also, like, I wear socks and then forget to take them off, and so I walk around in them a lot, and they get dirty. And because, like, I converted one of the bedrooms in my house to a workshop, and because I 3D print a lot of stuff, 3D printed plastic ends up on the floor a lot, and then also to help stick the 3D prints to the bed, I often use glue sticks, and then the glue sometimes ends up on the floor, and then the glue gets on my socks, and then fucks my socks. So I always like buying new socks, and I only really wear ankle socks, and I also like buy them in like packs of 5 for like $8. And so, you know, if they get a bit crusty, or they just get shit on them, I just throw them out and buy new ones. Not really one for, like, crazy socks, because, like, again, there's just how I wear socks, I just forget to take them off and they get fucked. Although I would like to own, like, some more crazier sort of socks, like the ones that I have on my store, for example. I don't know the link. I was going to shout out the fucking link to my merch store, but I can't remember it. Mr. Greencast, sellout den. I don't know the fucking... I'm sure if you Google it, it'll come up. Yeah, I don't know, they're pretty nice. I wouldn't mind them, but it's just like shipping fucks me. And, yeah, it's expensive to buy shit from my own store, which is ironic. But yeah, if Mr. Sock's missing, I just throw it out. Weeb Joan asks, why are you such a redneck faggot? I don't know, like, where you got that from, or you're just trying to be an edgy cunt, but, like... I live in the suburbs, and I'm often in the city. I'm quite the opposite of, like, a redneck, dude. Like, rednecks here are, like, the people that are out in the fucking bush. Or even just, like, bogan cunts. Or, like, lads or anything like that. I wouldn't consider myself redneck by any sort of fashion. I think you're just trying to be a fucking edgelord. Meowmix asks, what was your first emotion when you saw people interacting and actually enjoying your video? Mostly was just, like, confusion. Because, like, originally, I don't particularly like the sound of my voice. I often get people being like, you sound like you're 12. Shouldn't you be in school? And I'm like, cunt, I'm 20 years old. I've graduated university. I tell you, I'm not fucking 12 or, like, 15. But, you know, I've just come to terms with, like, this is my voice and I can't do anything about it. Well, I mean, I don't really want to smoke a fucking pack of ciggies. That's not really a thing I want to do. But yeah, I think it was more so just confusion, and then just also, you know, delight and happiness, I guess, because it's just like, oh, fuck, people actually enjoy this shit that I'm actually making. And it's just like, oh, well, if they enjoy the shit, then I will make more of the shit. And, yeah, and that is how fucking the couple hundred subs turned into, like, a couple 100,000. A couple tens of thousands, I will say that. AMX Dude, 1969, says, I question your Marmite. I think you mean Vegemite, dum-dum. Marmite is like the weird other version. But I do not question Aussie burnouts. What is the car scene like there? I don't know if I'm, like, properly good to comment on it, but... Because I'm not particularly a car guy, I don't really give a shit. But... There was also a thing here recently, hang on, I'm also sending a text message, give me 1 fucking second. There was actually a recent thing here in Queensland where they changed some of the four-wheel drive specifications that you can have in your car, like, overnight, and they just fucking, the police, like the greedy fucking Jewish cunts they are, they decided to just, like, immediately change it, and then immediately fine people. So it was things like... I'm going off the top of my head, I'm probably wrong. Like, the distance you can have your car suspension up. Like, I think before it was like 25 millimeters you can have it above, and they changed it to like 20. And then the measuring would be like, well, we changed it now, so that's a fine, and you just can't fucking do anything about it. And so they recently changed that. Or like the government and everyone else lobbied, just like, well, what are you doing, you greedy fucks? Because it literally, everywhere else it was fine. Or it's even like, somewhere if it's legal in New South Wales, they cross the border and then the police fucking target them. It was so fucked and Jewy. But like, I'd say the car scene's pretty, like, you know, pretty great here. often, like, on Facebook, and, like, some of my other friends that are much more into cars are often going to, like, car meetups and whatever the fuck else, and there's often car shows around here. But yeah, I'd say the car scene here is pretty good. If you're into cars. Lolcat says, worst fandom. So I'm gonna have to tie it here. And that is, of course, the illustrious and fucking cancerous furries. And then, of course, the bronies, which I actually surprisingly haven't seen much more of lately. I don't know if they're even really still a thing, but I think they're probably the most just fucking cancerous fandoms you could possibly have. With all their fucking weird, like, crossovers of other fucking characters where they make fucking weird, sexy, very furry versions of, and pony versions of other big characters. It's just cancerous. Do what you want, but, you know, you're a fuckhead. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this fucking name is just like keyboard mashing, so I'm just gonna butcher it. It's from Todd Fusmusnor. Fusmunda? Nah? I don't give a fuck. Close enough. He says, can you fucking tell Nicopedia to use a different text-to-speech for voices of different characters? I'll be sure to forward him on that fucking message, and that wasn't really a question, but whatever, fucking close enough. But I'm gonna call it there for, this week, guys. I've actually got to leave now. I'm already late to this fucking thing, recording this fucking podcast. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, queries, left advice, or any of that sort of shit, you can email me at mrgreentext.com. mrgreentext@gmail.com. Or comment on the community tab that will be up sometime next week. And I will catch you later, cunts.